Black Power. Marketing. Oh my god, I can't believe I have this project. Philosophy. How in the world am I supposed to relate marketing to darkness? It's due tomorrow? Oh my god. Maybe I'll just sleep on and take a nap then. Yeah, just one nap. That's it. Just a quick nap.
What's up, man?
Happy Thanksgiving. I see you're rocking the new polo. You know they have a Black Friday deal at Dollar Tree, right?
Oh, that's what's up, but you know, that's really not my speed. I'm not really into that Black Friday.
You obviously not down with the times, bruh. Black Friday has all the deals.
Don't you ever wonder why they call it Black Friday?
Because black people love deals, right?
It actually started in Philadelphia back in 1961. It was the Philly police, the PPD, what I used to call them. They were just so tired of the traffic jams, people in the streets causing them up after Thanksgiving. You know what they decided to call all that headache that day gave them? Called it Black Friday. It's just weird how things like black and darkness always seem to get placed in a negative light in the media.
Yeah, that's just the cops, though. They always trying to hate on a brother, man. Always trying to keep me down, trying to stop me from having all my ice, my Hollister, you know, you feel me? But it's good.
This is my question to you. What is the good in marketing black in this way? Why does America continue to connect black and negativity? What good does it do?
Marketing plays such a huge role in America because there are so many different cultures in close proximity that are very ignorant to one another. So that makes everything that is marketed even more influential.
Mom, come here, there's a black guy down here.
I have my camera.
How you doing? I'm a black guy.
I don't mind black guys.
All right.
I'm in Dallas, Texas, and I love all
There we go.
that's what I'm seeing today.
All right. Very good to meet you.
As a business major, we're always taught that marketing is about the consumer. And then the good is like what's actually being sold to the customer. It makes you wonder why it's come to this. Why is black marketing this way in America? Like, what are the reasons? What are the steps that led to this happening? And why would America want something as influential to all cultures as marketing to be placed in such negativity?
Would've went to jail if he wouldn't have got killed in that drive-by by the duty kid, cause he was like, it ain't mine, and she was like, you the only guy that I do it with. Remember when Pac and Q started fighting over Still House? They broke a vase, still scream. Raheem told him to chill out. That Jerry Curl blood that bumped Ricky eating chips, the same guy they was looking for when Ice Cube stopped to let Cube out the whip. And when it's sad how Loco had the habit, and when it's funny when they caught T-Bone dancing with that rabbit, it's just an illustration of a few scenes to help raise a generation. Yeah.
Racism built the world. You know, racism is the basis of all society. Separation and segregation, and we on top and you on the bottom. To get over to get ours, that's racism, you know what I'm saying? It exists, it's necessary. It's a necessary evil sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Especially to keep democracy, to keep us all comfortable, you know what I'm saying? That's what it took. You know, it took racism. It took like, nah, nigga, back up. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck you, cracker. You know what I'm saying? That's what it took. Kind of siding with your own and building up your own, you know what I'm saying? But it's whack as hell, though. You know what I'm saying? I hate racism.
Rapper Lupe Fiasco talks about how racism helped to build this country. In an article I found, it speaks how capitalism creates racism and sexism. The idea of survival of the fittest only encourages people to find classism as an ideal instead of equality. Next, I'm going to talk about Thomas Hobbes. Hobbes was an expert in his field of study of philosophy, and he is famous for his writing of Leviathan. In chapter 13, Hobbes talks about how man is at war with himself and how chaos is going to come about if there is no organization. It is key to understand that during this time period in Hobbes' writing, it is during the 1650s. This is when the Pilgrims were trying to colonize the natives, and basically what Hobbes is saying is that the colonists, if they did not make a government, then they would be doomed living in this barbaric way. As Hobbes was a very respected philosopher during the time and considered a knowledgeable intellectual, it is easy to see how his negative view of the darker-skinned people the colonists were sharing land with could have a trickle-down effect.
I wrote a letter to my representative to take this epidemic on. I walked right up to my congressman on the White House lawn and told him we shouldn't have to put up with this harassment one day longer. I said it's checkup time. After all, half of all Americans are living at or below the pickup line. And you know what he said to me? He said, "My fellow American, you must have your Sky Miles card on you today because you're looking extra fly." I couldn't help but wonder who'd elect this guy. And then it hit me. Think back to every ad campaign and inner-city baby-kissing politician visit, each fake debate, each missile missive, each broken man, each token mandate spoken, every candidate in history and campaign slogan, a chicken in every pot. Leave no child behind, hook and sinker, this is a stick-up crime. Politicians go fishing for votes and toss us, the pickup line, we're backed into the corner of a crowded club. One night stands, we got some scrub white guys like me, spitting game looking for some 4-year love like... Yo, America, wanna get a pizza and go to war?
Politics and political campaigns are very similar to marketing in the sense that they're trying to sell something to people, they're trying to get something out of people, and they have the ability to invoke emotion out of people. In America's past, I think they have shown that they have not always put black people in the best light with some of their political ads and campaigns. And I think with the ideas that we discussed previously, such as classism, it's easy to understand why when you're trying to get something such as votes from a certain class of people.
Bush and Dukakis on crime. Bush supports the death penalty for first-degree murderers. Dukakis not only opposes the death penalty, he allowed first-degree murderers to have weekend passes from prison. One was Willie Horton, who murdered a boy in a robbery, stabbing him 19 times. Despite a life sentence, Horton received 10 weekend passes from prison. Horton fled, kidnapped a young couple, stabbing the man and repeatedly raping his girlfriend. Weekend prison passes. Dukakis on crime.
Well, what kind of pie is that, Miss Nunn? That's a blackbird pie. A blackbird pie? There ain't no such thing as a blackbird pie. Why, don't you contradict me. Don't you remember that song I used to sing for you when you were a little pickaninny? Niners places in the kitchen. Here's the reason why. 'Cause the master says it takes a blackbird to make the sweetest kind of pie.
Think about the poor slaves that could read but were scared to teach their kids to read for fear they'd be killing their kids, man. Think about the poor slave that used to drive the buggy in town every day, man. Just to drive the buggy, man. He's driving the buggy, driving the buggy, driving the buggy. He's driving the buggy, driving the buggy, driving the buggy. And he can read, he's driving the buggy, driving the buggy, driving the buggy. And up ahead he sees a real busy intersection. He's driving the buggy, 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 driving the buggy. And then he sees a stop sign. Now he's got a real dilemma. Oh, Lord, what is I gonna do? Oh, Lord, what is I gonna do? Okay, if I go across this intersection, I'm gonna have an accident. If I stop at this sign, these crackers will kill me. Oh, Lord, what is I gonna do? And he don't know. And he's riding the buggy. And he's riding the buggy. And at the last minute, he says, fuck it. And he goes straight through the intersection. Has a big old accident. Wipes out. Wipes out. Almost kills somebody. And the police come. Then, nigga, what's wrong with you? Nigga, what the fuck is wrong with you? You could have killed somebody, nigga. You see that stop sign? Oh, I don't know what you talking about, son. Nigga, you see that stop sign? That stop sign right there? Oh, do you mean that octagon thing? Nigga, who taught you octagon?
Another interesting aspect of knowledge is the idea of the Dark Ages. So when people think of the Dark Ages, it's basically a time of when people are ignorant to it or they don't have any knowledge of it. The irony is that once people started gaining information on this time period, then it slowly diverged from just being the Dark Ages to also being known as the Middle Ages. And you know, that's just another example of not just people being known as black, but just the term dark, the term black being put as negative. Just like Chris Rock was stating about, oh, the black people, they weren't allowed to read, they weren't allowed to have knowledge. Well, something dark as a time period also getting placed as something that doesn't have knowledge. So in Professor Crawley's class, we'd have a lot of arguments and debates and discussions about just different topics. And one of my favorite times in class was when a girl stated that she felt today was better as far as racism, at least up north, not in the South, because, everything's worse in the South.
Amazing. You can barely drive a car, and yet you are allowed to fly a blimp?
Yeah, America's great, isn't it? Except for the South.
And so I always felt the same way. I had the same thinking coming from a multi-ethnic background, coming from the Bay Area where it's very diverse. But then Professor Crawley asked, why is it better? What makes it better? And, it was a really hard question to answer. And I think this is a really great thing to tie into knowledge. It's just that, people see that people used to get hosed down, or they see the separate bathrooms, separate schools, and they just naturally assume, okay, everything's better. There is no racism. But they don't really have a knowledge of why that is, what's happening today that's so much better as far as the separation of people. And so, I think that just shows how important knowledge is that the more knowledgeable you are, the better you are able to answer those tough questions, to have those debates, and be confident in what you're saying.
Sometimes you just gotta go. You will never know what you could ever be if you never try, you will never see. Stayed in Africa, we ain't never leave. So it wasn't no slaves in our history. Wasn't no slave ships, or no misery. Call me crazy, or isn't he? See, I fell asleep and I had a dream. It was all black, everything.
In the Constitution, it says everyone has the right to liberty, the pursuit of happiness, and property. But even today, property is still used as a way to market black people as something less than or in a negative light. When the Reconstruction Civil War got avoided, little black Sambo grows up to be a lawyer. Philosophy, different concepts, all coming together into a deeper context. We got capitalism, economics, bushy politics, all coming together into our subconscious. But hey, who knows, maybe way back in the day, back in the cavemen, found fire for the first time and they thought, wow, what a gift. This dark is all bad. We got fire, we have light. Whatever the reason. The stuff being marketed today definitely isn't black. It ain't me. So what's the answer to the question? What is this thing called black? Well, I answer this. Black is complex, powerful, and equal. Complex because it's not viewed. Powerful. Well, music shows how influential. It's been feared and oppressed because of how shadowy and strong it is. And beautiful because it's part of every aspect of life. Lastly, I say black is equal. Or as they say, everything is equal, and we have no right to say we are better than someone else. But then that also means no one is better than us. And that's my black marketing dream.